How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Creator's Process. As you know, my name is Jaden, and right next to me I have Ali.
Ali, hi.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, good.
That's good.
Thanks for inviting me along.
Oh, well, thank you for taking the time out of your day and out of your schedule to come onto the channel to talk about what you do.
Sunny, botanical gardens, I couldn't say no.
Yeah, exactly. And the sun's starting to set, and, got a nice, that
Got
late
a bit
night.
Of golden hour happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's so it's really good weather for it. So yeah, thank you so much for, taking that time.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, that's okay. And so for everyone at home that is watching today's episode, what do you do with yourself when it comes to the creative arts?
So my jam is abstract photography. Specifically, I've been, I guess, in the artistic world since about 2008 when I first picked up a camera and decided that that was kind of what I wanted to do and the medium that I wanted to work with. But yeah, over time I think I've just kind of been gravitating more and more towards the abstract side of things. I really like challenging an audience perception of my images. I like challenging their mind, if anything tricking them potentially. It's all about someone having that second, third, fourth, fifth look, that retake, and trying to make ordinary things like a lampshade or a teacup or things that are ordinary makes it look magical, like recreate a different environment with ordinary things. I really love kind of examining things in that way.
So yeah, you're one of the artists that likes to, in a funny way, mess with people's
Yes,
minds.
I do. I love it. Yeah.
No.
And
I love that.
And I think it does. It really challenges the audience. It makes them notice things. Often I guess as an artist, you think, okay, well, do you want someone to look at your photo or do you want someone to notice your photo? And there's that kind of that additional layer of examination that I love, and you really only get that in the abstract side.
But no, I love that because we were just part of an exhibition together, and that's where we actually met. And I really loved the photo you presented with where it was a person, like a graffiti person. Yeah,
so it was a piece of street art in Union Lane, which is unfortunately no longer there. But that's the nature of street art, is that it's always evolving. Sometimes it will only last a night, sometimes it will last a month. So I wanted to immortalise her. In that image,
Keep her in our memories.
Yeah, keep her on someone's wall.
Yeah, because you were able to sell it, which was really exciting.
Yeah, crazy. I didn't expect it at all. I haven't actually exhibited my work for 7 years, since my son was a baby. So that was my last solo show, so it was a big surprise for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I feel like it would just be such a great feeling knowing that, your artwork will be on someone's wall, that someone was so interested going, no, I want that on my wall. I want to purchase that before anyone else grabs it. I think...
I actually had a really good chat. It's obviously a confidence thing, which is wonderful.
Yes.
But I think the thing I liked the most was more the conversation that led up to the purchase. So I had a really good chat to the buyer's friend.
Yep.
And we were talking about, street art photography and the nature of that world. And we were talking about specifically the piece, which was called The Secret of Her Eyes.
Yes.
And the fact that it was all about that glint in her eyes, where you could kind of partially see but not fully see what she was looking at. Yes. And it really kind of made the viewer intrigued about what she was looking at, where she was, what she was thinking. And on the wall itself, you can't actually see the scale of her.
Yes.
But she was huge. She was massive, and she really took up a large part of the wall. So she's kind of like the guardian of that laneway. So I wanted to make her eyes look fierce. I really wanted to kind of encapsulate that grandeur of who she was.
Absolutely, and I think you definitely did capture that, and it was really awesome how you created a photograph where, as you said, it makes you look deeper into the person's eyes. For me, that was the one thing I was doing. I was looking really deep into the person's eyes, and I was thinking to myself, going, what is she actually looking at? And it actually makes you, as you said, that abstraction way of going, what are they looking at? what are they thinking, you know? And
and it's all about cropping. It's the way that you crop a face. It's the way you frame a face, and that's where the abstract, I guess, is really compositionally focused. It's very much about how you cut something in its final format. You know, we normally, when we're talking about faces, we either, you know, look at a total body form or we look at it in a profile form. But with abstract, you want to create something that's a little bit more misguided or offset, or not necessarily a framework that we're used to seeing, which is what I like better.
Oh, that's amazing, and once again, congratulations on selling it. That's absolutely amazing. I'll ask you, so, you know, you said that your style is, what did you say? Abstract photography, you would kind of describe it. Was there a particular reason why you decided to explore that style of photography or studying into abstract work? Like, is there a
very good
backstory?
Question. Very good question. So, actually started with portrait photography, which is, I guess, your realm. But I just didn't gel with it. I found it quite difficult to kind of get past those interpersonal connection boundaries. I found that it was, I just wasn't in the right mindset to do that sort of photography, and then I just started randomly experimenting with abstract forms, and I was really inspired actually by one particular artist. I don't know if you know her. She's Australian. I can't remember her first name's Olive, can't remember her last name, sorry. But she's the Teacups.
Yes.
The ballerina.
She was married to Max Dupain.
Yes.
I think that was Olive.
I'm trying to remember her last name for the life of me.
Was it Green? No, it was something like,
around that.
But no, I do know her.
But
she's
I saw
amazing.
some of her work, and I was just like, it's like a spark. Like I instantly was inspired by the fact that, you know, she's taken something, again, an ordinary object, you know, put it in a studio environment, you know, hit some incredible backlighting on the subject, used, you know, the flip of the teacups to, you know, create a different shadow reflection, and effectively created teacups as a dancing form, you know, like to create something that's ordinary into a set of ballerinas with a principle is just mind-blown territory. So that was kind of, I don't think I would ever be able to do something as good as she did, but, you know,
well, you never know. Don't speak too soon. You never know.
But, you know, I think that's what really inspired me, was that you can take something that's as ordinary as a knife or a fork or something that we see every day, a lampshade, or, you know, all those things I was mentioning before, and basically challenge the audience to see it in a different light.
Absolutely, and it's funny that you mentioned that artwork, because I was only just talking about that artwork with someone else.
Ah, really?
And it is such, like, that teacup ballerina work, I think it's at Teacup Ballerinas, that is just such it's such a beautiful image. Like, just, you're looking at the shadows, and that's the only thing for me that I want to focus on, is the shadows. Like, I know that obviously there's the teacups, but then they become kind of like in the background.
Secondary.
Yeah.
I would say they're secondary to the shadows, which are doing all of the work.
Exactly. So it's such a beautiful piece, and, you know, I think that's really cool that you are trying to do that for your own work. You know, try and make the viewers look kind of deeper, but then also, like, get the viewer thinking about what they're really looking at. And I definitely, like I said, you know, the photograph that you presented, it definitely got me thinking. And, like, actually the first, I don't know if you remember this, but the first response I had to the photograph was, I actually thought you painted it. Like, I actually thought it was,
it's very textural.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. A lot of people have asked me, and it was strange, on social media and different platforms, people have asked me, is that a painting? And I'm like, well, yes, it is a painting. Like, it's a photo of a painting, of a street. But it's very textural, and it's textural because it's street art. So obviously there's maybe 40, 50 layers of paper and stuff under the surface. So it's very textural in the face. But the one thing I love, and this is why I liked, I chose that particular woman to shoot, was because in her eyes, it's completely perfection. It's perfection.
Yeah.
Her eyes are just like realistic. Like, you wouldn't even know that it's not a person. But then when you look into the cheeks and the forehead and the other elements of her face, it's very textural, which then brings you back to the fact that, you know, what you're looking at is real.
Yeah, no, and I do agree with you. The eyes were just so piercing. Yeah, like I did love that. Like when I came across, I was like walking.
I wish I could thank the artist. Thanks.
Yeah, well, they could be watching right now, so you know it could be a possibility. But yeah, no, like I love that. Like I said, I was just looking, and I just couldn't help but like I had this moment where I was just looking, like I would look closer, so I could. It was kind of weird. I was like looking closer to look more deeper into the image, and I think definitely that's what makes a really great image, if you're inviting the viewers to kind of be a bit more draw them in, make them feel a bit closer to the artwork, invite them in, and you definitely pulled that off. I think, you know, you should be very happy with that.
I have to say it was a team effort, because I have a really good team at Melbourne Fine Art Printers that I work with. Sorry, shameless plug. But no, they were so good. The team there were really good, and I don't know about you, but during lockdown, logistics with dealing with printers and framers and getting test prints and catching up in person and stuff was just a nightmare.
It was a challenge, yeah.
So, you know, 3 months of backwards and forwards, you know, having test print consults at coffee shops or on a trail, you know, so that we didn't get caught. You know, it was a challenging process. So I just wanted to kind of tip my hat to those guys, because the end result with, you know, the oak frame and the really nice white boxing really brought her out. So team effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely, like, I love that you kind of in a way considered like the whole thing, not just the picture, but you wanted the whole framing, the way that it was presented to be part of the artwork as well.
The difference between a good image and a great image.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. No, and I love that you actually took that extra time and effort to go, all right, this is how I want to present it. Maybe I could do it this way. I don't think that works, but, you know, I think that's awesome. And, you know, I think you definitely pulled that off. Everyone, the team effort, as you said.
Yeah.
A good team effort. And so what are some other things that you like to photograph as well? Not just graffiti faces, but what else?
I'm a big lover of the environment and of the wilderness and our connection with nature. So my last solo exhibition, which was a long time ago now, was just purely focused on the nature principle, which is exploring that, you know, connection between, well, seeing humans as part of nature.
Yes.
Not as, you know, separate from nature.
Separate entities.
So it was abstract in form, but it was just exploring, you know, fire, wind, water, all of the basic environmental elements, and that kind of human context and that connection. So yeah, that's something I like to play with as well. Awesome. Is just to kind of look at that. I'm a big hiker as well, so I think that kind of plays into when I'm, you know, out on the trail. I'll take my camera sometimes if I can bear the weight, you know, to take photos or be inspired at different points. But that's definitely a big thing for me.
Yeah, awesome. Like I love that you were talking about like that. Kind of, you want to create a work where, as you said, the person that you're photographing to nature, you want them to not be separate, but you want them to be, you know, kind of in a way a combined entity to show that, you know, they're both very similar.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool, like, because, you know, it's like the natural, kind of like the natural form or natural human form with the nature, the natural landscape.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of like one of the pieces. So I was really happy with this one because it was quite cheeky.
Yeah.
The abstract can be quite playful. There was one called Sitting for a Portrait.
Okay.
And I liked the title, like, because it was a bit of a play on the genre itself. But it was an Andy Warhol inspired piece. So I did it I produced it as a negative film. So all the colours were switched. So lots of fluorescence, lots of like crazy energy happening in the picture. But the thing that was sitting for a portrait wasn't a person.
Oh, okay.
It was a bird. So it was a bird that was sitting on this it was in my backyard in Camberwell, sitting on this image, this cockatoo sitting on this branch, you know, literally looked like this bird was sitting for a portrait, looking straight at me, straight down the lens.
I love that.
And I thought, this is a Warhol moment. This is like the, you know, it's perfect. But does anyone usually apply it to animals?
Yeah.
As opposed to humans, right? So
I like that.
I was like, okay, well, let's just make this bird glamorous. Let's put some pop punk, you know, stardom into this bird and reverse, you know, the negative and do something fun with it. And it's now, I think, sitting on one of my friend's walls in where is she living now? I don't know, Armadale.
Wow, that's
in her kitchen.
That's amazing. You're gonna have to.
But yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to send me an example of that. Like that just sounds amazing. And I love how like you've taken it like instead of the person, it's an animal, and kind of just done the approach of going, you know, why can't animals have a portrait sitting, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they have feelings too, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, why not give them a portrait sitting? And I love how you've kind of done that whole take on, as I said, that whole Andy Warhol or any artist that does a portrait sitting where they're painting a human, but instead you're like, you know what, I'm going to photograph a bird.
Yeah, well, why can't another part of nature be a celebrity?
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't we glamorize the things that surround us and not just ourselves? I guess it's kind of reverse narcissism, right?
Yes, exactly. I love that. That's so cool. Like, I'm gonna have to, check out some of those works you've done. Like, please do. And I guess as a final question, you said that you've actually got a couple of projects coming up. So do you want to kind of talk about them?
They're kind of in their infancy at the moment, but I can, I guess, give a few hints.
Yes, please do.
So I was talking to Brett at the Fitzroy Art Collective, who is a great guy and a bit of an organisational wizard. But I would love to do a solo show next year, thinking maybe just after June or July.
Wow.
At the moment I'm kind of in a proof of concept stage, going out to friends, family, different people. I'm wanting to explore this really interesting time that we're currently living, like right now.
Yes.
Because we have this incredible thing that's happening, which we're literally transitioning from this work from home, lockdown environment to back to work.
Yes.
There's lots of feelings, there's lots of emotions, there's lots of really kind of these quasi environments where we're kind of being pushed between two
going
things.
back and forth.
And I have a lot to say visually in that area, and I just thought, well, let's, rather than taking, you know, a lot of photographers out there are taking, you know, these drone-based photos of empty cities and kind of looks like the apocalypse. Let's do something a little bit different, you know, and let's get into people's homes. Let's take photos of their nest, you know, the things that have sustained us and supported us through 1.5 years of turmoil, right?
Yeah.
And let's compare that visually to where we're going to. So I'm going to shoot in both environments and layer them all up and create something exciting, hopefully.
That's such a really cool concept, because
Don't steal my idea, by the way.
No, I'll
I'm on that.
I was going to say, I'll come after those people as well. But no, I love that. That's such a really cool idea that is exploring, like, you know, what everyone had to deal with in
it's a shared
lockdown.
Experience.
Exactly.
And that's what art is about. It's about, you know, exploring visually that shared experience that we have, that is life. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bloody hard.
Absolutely. And it's like everyone dealt with it differently. And I think it would be really interesting to see, like, all these different portraits of these different portrayals of like how people dealt with it. And I'm excited to see. You'll have to definitely send, when it's coming up, you'll have to let me know when it is, and I'll definitely be there on opening night. I can promise you that.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the support.
Oh no, absolutely.
Has to get past Brett first.
Oh yeah. No, Brett, watching, mate, please pass it through. And
we'll see.
Yes. And so I want to say a huge thank you just for, once again, for taking the time out of your day to talk about your process as a photographer. And I've really enjoyed talking to you, having a proper sit down and talking to you about it. So thank you for that.
It's nice to have more than the 10 minutes we had at the exhibition.
Oh yeah, that it was just so quick. It's like, oh hey, and it's like, I have to go.
Oh, there's so many other people to talk to, so you have to pass yourself around.
Absolutely. And so thank you so much for that.
No worries.
And I look forward to your future projects, and I want to wish you all the best for them as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's okay. And so for everyone watching at home, I want to say a huge thank you to watching another episode of The Creators Process. If you want to check out Ali's work, I'll leave links to everything down below. Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram, Facebook, and all that sort of thing. Do you sell prints online?
No, but if you do want any prints, I can make those available. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's keep supporting the Melbourne-based community, the local community. During this hard time, as we were saying, artists were struggling and a lot of people were struggling during this time. We're now coming out of lockdown. Let's keep that support going. Let's keep staying strong and keep pushing it. I think
go to your local art galleries, buy on opening night, support our local artists. We need you.
Yes, absolutely. Well said. And comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.